If your 3D prints look pixelated, have random holes, or take forever to process, you're losing out on sales. And today I'm going to show you the 3 Nomad Sculpt fixes I use to make every model client ready faster and so that my 3D prints come out perfect. If you're trying to create a custom mask in Nomad Sculpt or a stamp, or you're trying to add some details and you're noticing that it looks a bit pixelated, sort of like this, and it's not really smooth and it just comes out looking low quality, this is the way that you can fix that. You can actually go up here and turn on dynamic topology. By default, it's usually at 100, so it looks like that. But notice as you increase the detail, the pixels on your plane shrink and it grows and grows and grows. That allows you to add more details to whatever you're trying to create, so that if you're trying to make a mask or if you're trying to use the stamp tool, it will look much better. This one looks a little bit more pixelated, but just keep messing around with that. Keep in mind that this tutorial is mainly for anyone who's looking to 3D print. If you're looking to create animations of your models within Nomad Sculpt, you will have to retopologize your model, because using Nomad Sculpt, there's a lot of vertices in here and triangles, which makes it harder to rig them. Nomad Sculpt does have a feature that allows you to do that and edit the vertices, which is the quad mesher, but you do have to pay for that. I don't really need it because most of my creations are for 3D printing. However, if you're looking to do that, you can, but oftentimes people usually make their sculpture within Nomad Sculpt, export it, and then import it into Blender to retopologize it. I'll show you an example of how the stamp tool looks when you go to use it and you don't really edit anything up here for the resolution. It looks really low quality. But once you turn on dynamic topology and you increase the detail to however much you want, you see how it's looking smoother and smoother as I increase that. Another way you can do that is you can go to multi-resolution, which is on the same window, just all the way to the left, and subdivide, which also helps. I'm going to go to the mask tool. This is without any subdivision. I'll draw and it looks really bloxy and pixelated and low quality. But once I go to subdivide that, try again, my lines come out smoother, and so does the selection mask. If I wanted to do a circle, it looks smoother. Subdivide it once more for even smoother lines. That is how you do that, and that works for any other tool as well. If you're trying to just add more details or make it look better quality, those are the 2 settings that I recommend you try out and use, along with when you voxel merge any of your layers together. Make sure that your resolution is at least 300 and up. Don't put it too high because the app might crash depending on the kind of iPad you have. I have the 10th generation iPad, so mine crashes if I do it too much, but just make sure it's at least 300. While you are using those tools, keep in mind you are seeing vertices, which is at the top left hand side. If that is too big, for instance 5 to 6 million vertices, it will take longer to process and it could crash. Or if you're trying to export it into your computer to 3D print, your 3D printing slicer software might be a bit slower than usual due to the amount of vertices it has. So try to keep this at a reasonable number. Another common issue or problem that people have told me about that they need help with is when they accidentally trim any part of their design that they just realize a bit later on that they did after already finishing your model. If you're a bit too far ahead in the design to actually reverse everything and fix it. For instance, say I cut a part of my model out and I don't notice it because I'm so busy working on a detail on another part of my design. Usually I always recommend that you rotate your design as you make any modification to it. That way you can ensure that there are no imperfections or mistakes while you are working. Of course, you can always tap the screen with 2 fingers to undo what you did, but this is more so for anybody who's too far along within their design that they can't redo everything they just did. Or if you already saved it or you exited the app and you realize that you can't reverse it because you exited the app already. So say we have a hole in our design that we don't want to be there, we need to close it up. You can add clay if you want. There's a section here in Nomad Sculpt that allows you to add clay brush to try and build that, but it just won't look that good. A trick I like to use is to use the same exact tool, which is the trim tool. And up here at the upper left hand corner, there is actually an option for you to fill in any holes. I know it might be hard to find if you're new to using Nomad Sculpt, if you're not really familiar with all the tools. Click that, click the lasso tool or whichever shape you need, and go over that circle like that. That should fill whatever holes you have. perfectly, and if it sticks out too much, you can always move it around or smoothen it if you need to. That is one of my favorite tricks to use in case you didn't know. This is my cute little cow design that I made, a macaron cow. If you want to learn how to make your very own detailed designs in Nomad Sculpt as a beginner, I do have a beginner's Nomad Sculpt master course. I'll link that down below if you'd like to grab it and join the class. You'll learn all the tools within Nomad Sculpt, what each one does, what I recommend, tips and tricks that I use, and how I build my own 3D prints like this. This model that I have has this little cut right here. I'm not sure how I did that. I might have accidentally used the slice tool, but I want to fill that in. You can kind of see that right there in this area. Again, I'll go to the trim tool and then I'll just draw a little lasso. And the white highlighted area is the area that will be filled in. There you go. It looks a little rough, that's okay. I can always smoothen it with my smooth tool. Go back in with my smooth tool and fix it up. There we go. I fixed my cute little cow macaron design with the little cut in it using the trim and fill tool. The third tip that I have for you for Nomad Sculpt is if you have too many scene vertices up here like we talked about earlier, for instance, it's 4 million or 3 million or 1 million or even 885,000 is a bit much for scene vertices. We want to keep it at about 100,000 or less just so it doesn't crash our software we're using and it doesn't take long to export it or anything like that. Try to keep it at 100,000 or less, and to do that from a model you made, I already voxel merged everything together so it's one layer in one piece. You click your model layer and then go to the same section, the same toolbar that we use to improve our quality or resolution where the multi-res and the dynamic topology is, and hit the very last one right here. From here you'll see a decimation tool. All you have to do is click that, continue to click it, and you'll slowly see your scene vertices lower. I'll click it once and show you. Now it says 442,000 scene vertices, and you can decrease your target triangles if you want. By default, it's usually at 50%, and that'll decrease your scene vertices by half. Decimate it again, and then you'll have 221, do it again, 110, and now a little bit more. 87,000, which is good because it's under 100,000. By doing this, when you go to do any processing to it, it should be faster compared to if you had 1 million scene vertices. This is a good little trick I like to use, but I usually like to do this after I finish with my model. If you see these little triangles here, you can go ahead and smooth that out if you want to, or make this one whole color depending on the kind of print you want to make, and if you're making it one solid color or multicolor. That is all I have for today's video. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video helpful, as well as click that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my future beginner-friendly 3D print design tutorials, as well as small business tips and tricks. Until then, I will see you next time.